Hello and welcome everybody to Out of Combat, our podcast after the stream, after the show, Cantrips.com. My name is Moobs Like Jagger. I play Ron from Casters and Cantrips, and I'm joined by Mac and Cheese Please, who plays Vince, and Virtual Spectre, who plays your lovable monk, Valken.
Yo.
Oh.
What a great dungeon, guys.
Yeah,
I thought I was gonna die.
I think we will next week.
Well,
Listen.
Let's not. We joke, but it might actually happen.
We never encountered someone,
right?
Yeah. Well, we definitely skipped the ooze room, which I think was very wise.
I agree. That was a good call on you guys for sure. Because
if we did not know we were going to fight the Black Knight from the Feywilds, and if Imposter showed up and then peaced out. So
yeah, what a way to end it, actually.
Yeah. Well, and what's interesting is that Ron's character is really the only one who is familiar with the Black Knight. All of us don't know how strong this creature is.
Yeah,
are they pretty strong?
I think if you could tear through the veils of fabric of time and then just appear exactly where we are, I think I would say they're pretty strong.
Oh, so I thought you touching the gem had something to do with it. That just happened.
Yeah, we didn't even get close to it yet. If we had more time, Ron was like, "We got to take that thing out," but then Max was like, "Hey, something's happening," and we're like, "What?"
Well, Bun was ritually casting something, but nobody actually touched it yet. So
yeah. It's casting Identify.
Yeah.
Well, then maybe we can sweet talk our way out of this, because the Vinposter had said, "Oh, they're doing something definitely bad. You want to take care of that," which we are not doing anything bad. We are helping uncover the truths, So
yeah,
I feel like we can maybe smooth talk this.
Yeah, because the Black Knight is all about restoring balance, no matter what the cost is. So, as long as this balance is restored, so if we can sweet talk him, hey, this crystal is causing a lot of unbalance and raising all this undead, and we're actually here to destroy it. And then I don't know how well it's going to go over talking to him, because he really wants Vin dead.
Yeah, I don't really know about that either, because what's interesting is my character doesn't actually know her backstory, because her whole thing is that she's a changeling. She spent so long being other people that she doesn't know who she is as a person. And so I don't, me as Mac and Cheese Please, as I was making my character, I don't even know what's happening with these Vinpots. I legit don't know what Max is doing, which makes it kind of fun. So I don't know. We'll I don't know. I'm at a loss for words.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, Valken knows nothing of that's going on with the Vimposters or with Ron's dreams, other than whatever Ron has shared, which I'm not sure how much, other than
not much.
Hey, there's a Black Knight out there, maybe.
Yeah. Well, when Bryn pretty much called out Ron and hey, what is going on? And then so I'm pretty sure Ron explained the whole dream, that there's this Black Knight.
To Bryn.
Oh, was it to Bryn?
And then you guys kept it from me.
Well, yeah, that was the first time we kept it secret. Yeah.
First time. Wait, there's more times.
Yeah, I think there was 2 instances, because Ron talked to Bryn about it, and don't tell Vin, because Ron really wanted Vin to have a good time about getting the tattoo and didn't want to have this shadow behind Vin's oh, is this evil knight gonna kill me while I'm getting a tattoo? So that was Ron's thinking. And then Bryn was like, "No, we really gotta talk about this."
Yeah, this is important.
To sort of bring things to an earlier part of our dungeon dive, Valken on that first fight with the giant skeleton was this close to going down. I had 17 HP left when the skeleton died.
Dang. Yeah. Okay. I didn't realize you were that close.
No one realized you took that much damage.
I was not rolling. Well, he hit me one time for I think it was for like 28 damage or something crazy.
Woof.
Plus, I had like been getting pestered by those ghosts, whatever they were. So yeah,
Right.
a good thing you guys got in there and did some work because
Swooped
I
in with
was
the
trying to find
dragon.
anywhere to escape to. I was like, I need to run.
Run up the wall. Come back to safety.
You
Yeah.
think Balkan is overcoming his fear of undead, or he's just like he's cornered, so he has to fight?
Yeah.
I kind of mentioned this in our previous out of combat session when I was talking with Max. He is he still does not like the undead. It just it gives him the heebie-jeebies. He has never liked it. What's dead should stay dead and not walk around.
Sure.
But in terms of like, he's been facing them quite a bit. He's met an undead lich, so at this point, he doesn't like it, but he's kind of at the point where he's got to take care of business. So that's why earlier on in the campaign, he'd be like hiding or like trying to get away. Now he's just like, ah, okay, fine, let's go, type of thing. But he hates every second of it. After if we get out of here, if we take a job that has us fighting undead, Valken's gonna be like, need to
Quit.
take a
I'm
long
leaving.
vacation from that. So nobody
So
else is that like is what are some of your characters like little things that they don't like fighting? Anything? Or doesn't
Uh,
like in general? Enemies, places?
I mean, there was that one moment when we were back at Ron's home village, and then like I think Ben started blowing stuff up and things were catching on fire, and that kind of gave Ron some PTSD
Mm,
of like of his village being on
okay.
fire. So there was a moment where he just like stood there and like was kind of like didn't know what to do. So he was just like out of his mind, like and spiritually. So he was just like just stood there because he's just like
okay.
reliving his nightmares. Other than
Yeah.
like fears, I don't I never actually thought about that. So you were thinking pretty deep with giving your character like a phobia.
Well,
For real. It's
I
fun.
kind of yeah, it was like on the character sheet, it's like when they're giving you kind of pointers on a backstory is like what are some things they like, what are some things they're good at, not good at, um anything, do they have any weaknesses? And I was like, well, it would be funny if he just like doesn't like dead things and he's just scared of dead things. I think that would
I
be
like
because
that.
at some point we're gonna run into dead stuff,
Yep.
and I just wanted to have a funny little character quirk that was just I don't know. It kind
It
of
works.
evolved.
I like it. It
Yeah.
works. And you're like having character growth now with that phobia. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the fact that you actually played to it, because a lot of people, they'll write stuff in their backstory and then never address it or never remember it, but you play to it. And I think that's really fun.
Yeah, so to give folks some context here, this is my first ever game of D&D playing. I've watched Critical Role for a long time, so I knew a little bit just from watching, but first time playing, I was like, I want to do this. I want to RP, I want to have a character that has habits, things they like, and I want to play into that. So, you know, if this was going to be my first experience, I wanted to like,
Go all in.
I don't
yeah,
think
I wanted to
anyone
play the game. I wanted to have fun
I don't think
and RP it.
anyone ever guessed that this is your first time playing
I
D&D
never would
ever.
have guessed.
Yeah.
No way.
Like such so natural for you.
Yeah, I mean, it helped coming from streaming. I think being able
Sure.
to like work off the cuff and kind of improv a little bit, but also just like watching people play kind of familiarized a lot of things for me. But I'm still like, hey, what does that spell do? How does this like how do these rules work? The minutia of things I'm still not 100% on, but overall, like you guys have made it easy as well. Um,
Oh,
everybody's character is great, and we all vibe off each other, so it works.
it really does. And like, I didn't know you moves or you, like both of you. I only knew Max and I had met Bun once before we got started in this, but I feel like as we all like grew, like
Yeah.
we really like grew together, and I think that's really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew Moobs and I knew
Mixer, yeah.
Bun. Yeah, from Mixer.
So you all knew each other. I was the one who didn't know anybody.
I didn't know you.
True.
Well, I actually met Max because he was streaming on the GOG channel playing one of our games. He was playing Deadfire.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh, I'm gonna reach out to this guy, and then we just started chatting, and then invite him over for Extra Life, and then we just like became friends. And then when we went over to Mixer, that's when I found BS, and we were like started talking there, and then the Exodus happened, and we all came back to Twitch. So.
And now we're one big D&D happy family.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, I was so happy when Max DM'd me and he's like, "Hey, I'm thinking about starting up a D&D game. Would you be interested in playing?" I'm like, "Yes. Sign me up. I've been waiting to play the game for a long time." I was like, "Let's do it. Let's go." So, yeah, today's session was pretty hardcore.
It was. Every time we're in a situation where there's traps or a trap room, I feel like we do really poorly.
Yeah, I was actually honestly really frazzled and stressed out because that first hit, I think it got me for like 20 or 30 points. Ooh. And like I was immediately down to like 20 hit points after that. And so I was like, okay, like then the next time I went down, I died. And so like I was frazzled. I didn't know what I could do. I didn't know how to interact with the room. Yeah, puzzles don't seem to be our strong suit.
Well, it was kind of crazy because before he said it was poison, I went ahead and did the first roll and I rolled a 19 and I told him, he's like, that's a fail. I'm like,
yeah, I don't even know what successes were.
What? Yeah, and then he said it was poison. I'm like, okay, I'm safe at least because I'm immune. But I was like, oh man, we're gonna like so many people are just gonna keep failing. That's such a high DC.
We muscled our way out of the dungeon instead of like trying to find the lever or button or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I think Max took a little pity on us because like the first perception check, I think I rolled like a 15 or 16. And he said I didn't notice, like he knew something. He said I knew something locked, but I couldn't find it. And then on the other wall, I rolled like a 13. He's like, oh, well, you see like the sphere.
Oh,
I was like, okay, thanks, Max.
I think maybe because that was more visually apparent. Like there's this glowing sphere, maybe.
Oh, he said there was one on the other side too. That was the same way. Because that's what Vin saw too.
Yeah, like because I think I had said, like, do I see anything? Mm-hmm. And I was like, nope. And I was like, okay, I don't know what to do then.
I would love Max to be here to explain the situation. He's like, oh, they're going to die here, so I better let him out.
Yeah. Some like DM, like God powers at will, fix the situation before he party kills us.
Happens every time.
That would have been a way to go.
That's the sign of a good DM, though. Like, kind of bend the game a little bit. Don't be so strict in order to like make sure your party members are having a good time. So
yeah, he's always said that his aim is not to kill us; it's to make sure we're having fun. That's the number one goal. So
yeah,
we'll see how true that is next session, I guess. Huh?
I have some things up my sleeve, so we'll see.
Yeah,
I have no idea what to do.
I guess we'll talk it out first, and then.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Then see what happens. Because I think on one of the earlier out of combat sessions, we talked about this too. Like, what is Ron gonna do if the Black Knight shows up? So it's like
now you have to decide.
I know. I think I said like we'll have to find out in the moment, and now the moment's here. I don't know what to do.
The moment. Yeah. Vin's gonna like run behind Ron and be like, Ron, protect me. He's being mean to me.
Well, how did Vin feel when the Vinposter came through?
I don't think she felt anything like, oh, it's you again. Like, tell me more about the situation that I don't really know what's going on, but you seem to know what's going on. Like, you know what I mean? Like I think her approach to it isn't like, I'm afraid of you. It's like, hey, it's you again. Like, what's happening right now? But then they like dipped. So it's like, when will she get answers? Like, that's all she wants is answers. Yeah. You know how to get answers? Maybe the Black Knight knows.
I feel like we might not be able to talk our way out of it because he said that, oh yeah, I'm going to kill you last.
So but was he saying that to me or was he saying that to the other Vin?
To the Vin Foster because she brought him to us.
He said, you're still useful, so I'll kill you last. Because
in Ron's dream, it was them talking to each other. And she's like, I know where to find your most hated enemies. And then she whispered in his ear, but Ron couldn't hear it in the dream.
Right.
And then that's when he opened the portal to step through where we are.
I still think there's a sliver of a chance that Ron could potentially flip the situation if I think if you're successful in playing up your connection to your god, maybe he'll be like, maybe these guys are not evil, but who knows? I don't know.
I also feel like Vin might be able to talk her way out of it because something a lot of y'all don't know is that she has a +10 to persuasion and deception. So I basically can't fail.
That's pretty high. That's really high.
It's really high.
Like, what's your charisma bonus?
My charisma is at 20. I maxed it out.
Oh,
that was
dang,
because I'm a sorcerer, I maxed out that immediately. I put all my points into that. So yeah. We had 10, baby. And then I have a ring, a special ring that gives +1 to everything. So
what, to all your skills?
Everything gets a +1. Yeah.
So you could basically, with that high of charisma, you could like talk your way out of like a god trying to kill you or something.
Maybe.
You just
I mean, if I roll a nat 20 plus that, it would be 30. You know what I mean? Like how on earth would Max say no?
Probably,
you know?
With that, you could probably convince the god that you are the god and it's not. Like
yo, maybe. Honestly, for story, like Vin's crazy enough, she might just do it.
I mean, if you roll a 30, like
I feel like we should be getting into more trouble then and convincing people that you're, or well, she's a princess, and then you convince them, and then we get like the royal treatment.
Yeah.
I like where your head's at.
Yeah, I really liked that moment when we found the chest, and Ron's just like, I'm just gonna look away, and you guys do whatever you want.
Okay, I need to explain myself on that because I feel like I was like the one immediately like, let's steal some. But I could have sworn that we had talked about skimming some in one of the previous sessions. Like if we found
we did, but I think Ron and Bryn kind of feel bad about stealing. They feel bad about stealing, right? And then like the terms of the agreement is like you can keep whatever you find, but the gems or the black pearls go back to me. So we're like, well, we don't want to break the contract, but if we don't know what's happening, who knows?
Okay.
Well, and I relocked the chest, so as far as that other person knows, the chest is locked. We never went in it. And we could just say, like, we found this chest, we don't know what's in it. Like, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe it's the pearls, maybe it's not, you know. It
was knocked over and some stuff was missing.
Or
and with your +10 deception, I think we'll have no problem.
Listen, honestly, maybe. That's why I wasn't nervous about stealing it, because I was like, I could lie my way out of this one.
Like,
yeah.
Well,
all right, we got to put our big brain mode next week, because this is not gonna be an easy fight. I think it's probably gonna be the hardest thing we ever fought.
Yeah, like, and everyone expended everything.
Yeah.
Tune into the party kill next week.
Yeah.
All right, that's a wrap for us for this episode of Out of Combat. Thank you everyone for listening on in and checking out. If you want more information for casters and cantrips and all your needs, go to castersandcantrips.com. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.